Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Dream Then Do podcast. Now today we'll be talking about moving. So I know a lot of us have actually written down or set our goals for 2026, and I just want to tell you congratulations on achieving those goals. So some time back I went to a church and the pastor said he wanted us to write a congratulations letter. He said, write it. They're like prayer points, right? But write it like you've already accomplished it. And that's a great way to actually see your goals. To see your goals or view your goals like you've already accomplished them. Now, say you actually want to impact a certain number of children before the year runs out. See yourself already doing it, not just already doing it. See it like you've already done it, like had, you've gone to those places where you actually meet the children, you've gotten the stuff you wanted to get them, you've had the conversations you wanted to have. Just see yourself that way. So I know we've discussed about how you should write your goals and using the light of God to actually see yourself, make your goals, make your resolutions, right? Now is the time to actually take action. Now, a lot of times, some of us wait for motivation, and motivation should be the result, not the cause. So you have these goals you've set, and 2026 is already moving. So instead of you dwelling there and waiting for some spark or for some motivation to actually hit you, why don't you take steps in obedience? God has given you this set of goals. God has opened your eyes to actually see clearly. And then I know a lot of times we feel down or we feel the goal may actually be bigger than you. But then again, if it isn't bigger than you, then it's not worth your time. So you've set those goals and you've actually prayed about them. Now is the time to start moving. Now is the time to take action. It doesn't have to be big steps. Say you're looking for a job. It doesn't have to be 20 applications a day. You can begin with 3. Say you want to write a book. It could be one chapter at a time. You want to read a book. It could also be one chapter at a time. So the important thing is to actually start. Most times, clarity follows movement and not the other way around. So if you just keep waiting actually to get clarity before you move, you'd find yourself stuck. The small steps you take are very important. But beyond taking those steps, I also want you this year to be consistent with them. So you're taking these steps, don't wait for motivation because to be very honest, it's going to fail you at some point. So you have to decide that you're not just doing this because you are motivated. You are doing this in obedience to the vision that God has shown you. You're doing this in obedience to that thing, that picture you've actually seen when you were setting the goals. I'm sure you set those goals because you saw yourself doing it or you believed at certain points you could actually do it. Sitting back and actually waiting for those goals to come to pass by themselves would never happen. You actually have to take action. But beyond taking action, you have to be consistent in that action you're taking. And we've said this before. One of the ways to actually help you be consistent is by tying these new habits to old habits. So you have something you want to accomplish this year. Tie it to old habits. Don't wait to just create a new schedule because it may not really work out that way. There's some people who do not necessarily need a push before they actually begin to work on their dreams and their goals. But there are some others who would need that push. And when you have no one to push you, it's best for you to tie these new habits to existing ones. So it just helps you actually flow. Now, a lot of times people get burnout because they actually have intensity, but they do not have rhythm. So you see them, they try as much as possible to do this today, and tomorrow they're doing that, and next tomorrow they're doing that, and with no rhythm at all, you find out that there's actually burnout. Now, Jesus gave a story or a parable, whichever, but he gave one about a woman who was always knocking at the door of a judge. And because of her consistency, the judge had no other option than to actually answer her. And the same way, Consistency builds identity. So you're focused on one particular thing. You do not have to do everything. Just don't do nothing. So you don't have to be here and be there. Just try as much as possible. Find something you're interested in. Find one goal and stick to it. And yes, please, you don't just have to set your goals to be all over the place. Classify the goals to be quarterly. You could classify the goals to be monthly, whichever works for you. Just classify these goals and try as much as possible to be consistent in it. Remember, you don't have to do everything. Just don't do nothing. And finally, God actually values your faithfulness over performance. Now remember what he said, obedience is better than sacrifice. So God has put this in your heart. How obedient have you been to actually start? What else are you waiting for? Scripture says he has given to us all that pertains to life and godliness. So everything you need to actually make that dream a reality, everything you need to actually make that goal come to pass has been given to you. What are you doing with it? Remember, he also said, to him who is faithful in little, more will be given. So God has placed that little in your hand, that dream, that vision, that goal, that little picture in your heart. Are you going to be faithful to begin? Are you going to be obedient to start? Or are you waiting for motivation, which may take years to come or may never come at all? So this week, write down one small action you would take. You do not have to announce it. Sometimes momentum is actually built quietly. So write it down, try as much as possible to achieve it, and then take that as a step to create more daily actions or more weekly actions as the year progresses. 2026 is definitely a great year, and I would see you at the top. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode. This is the Dream Then Do podcast. Dream it this week. Do it this week. I repeat, do it this week. And watch as you become. See you next week. Bye.